Hello everyone, welcome back. Big news from OpenAI this week. They have just announced a major upgrade to their GPT-5 models, and more importantly, they have released brand new GPT-5 Codex models. So what is Codex? In short, it's a version of GPT-5 that is specifically trained for software engineering. So it's built to write and understand the code. So here is what we're going to do in this video. We will quickly scan through the release announcement. Then we will jump straight into Codex CLI to do quick vibe check with these brand new models. We'll do two important things. Number one, we'll see how well it understands the already existing application and see if it can add in new features to it. Number two, we will build a brand new application from the scratch. After that, I'll give you my initial thoughts around these brand new models and see if these models are as good as Claude 4 models. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so now we are in the GPT-5 Codex official announcement page. So they're saying Codex just got faster, more reliable, and better at real-time collaboration and tackling things independently anywhere you develop. So what you're seeing here is highly optimized version of GPT-5. So if you're a software engineer, this is a huge update. Think of it like a GPT-5, but more optimized for code generation. And of course, they have some self-evals. Usually I don't believe in these self-evals, but let's quickly scroll through them. So they're saying on the sweep bench, GPT-5 Codex High is better than GPT-5 High, and refactoring GPT-5 Codex is a lot better than GPT-5 High. But here is the future that really got my eye, dynamic thinking. It means GPT-5 Codex able to allocate the thinking budget depends upon the complexity of the task. That is a huge improvement because it should be able to use far less tokens than GPT-5 High. Basically, it's like a GPT-5 in your ChatGPT. So when you ask a question, it has a capability of analyzing the complexity of the task and then switch between GPT-5 thinking and GPT-5 Pro models. This chart is kind of interesting too. What they are saying here is on the less complexity task, GPT-5 is spending 93.7 less tokens than GPT-5 High, which is a huge deal. So I guess it's related to that dynamic thinking. When the task is simple, it is not thinking too much. So that means less thinking, less tokens. But on the other side, if the task is very complex, GPT-5 Codex is spending more tokens, which is like 102% more than the GPT-5 High. So it's thinking hard to come up with a good solution. Let's move on. So on the PRs, GPT-5 Codex is making less incorrect comments, more high impact comments, and then usually less comments than GPT-5 High. That means GPT-5 Codex is adding only important comments that user needs. So far they talked about updates to the model, but here they're talking about updates to the Codex. They're saying they added few upgrades to the Codex CLI to make it a better pair programmer, and few improvements to Codex IDE extension, improvements to Codex Cloud, and improvements to their code review agent. But today we'll mostly concentrate on Codex CLI. So let's jump in and see how GPT-5 Codex performs with Codex CLI. Alright, so now we are in my terminal. So installing the Codex CLI is pretty simple. You have to just type npm install OpenAI Codex at latest. That will take care of installing the latest Codex CLI package. It looks like it's already installed. Launching is also pretty simple. You just type Codex. It will launch the Codex. So when you're launching the Codex for the first time, you have two ways to log into the Codex. Number one is sign in with ChatGPT. You can basically use your existing ChatGPT account, the $20 one, and then continue using the Codex CLI. You can also use with the API key. But since I already have my ChatGPT account, I'm gonna sign in with ChatGPT. All right, I sign in with my ChatGPT account and I press enter. We're gonna stick with GPT-5 Codex Medium, but whatever I've seen so far, Codex Medium performs decently better. So let's stick with that. Well, there are two reasons why I'm selecting this. It has a decent reasoning capabilities and it's faster than High. So it's best of both worlds, right? That's why I'm choosing Medium. Okay, so like I mentioned before, we're gonna test Codex CLI in two scenarios. Number one, we're gonna add a feature to an existing application. Number two is we're gonna develop something brand new with it. Before adding a new feature, let me show you what the existing application is and what feature we're gonna add to it. So here is our existing web application. It's called GAPE, which is Goal to Achievement Performance Evaluation. So in simple terms, GAPE is an application where you can add goals and also add achievements specific to those goals. Let me show you how it works. So now I have three goals, right? So you can come here, manage goals, and click add goal to add a new goal. For example, I'm gonna add a goal something like make awesome YouTube content. And then you can add more description here. You can also set the target date, like by what time you wanna achieve that goal. Then create goal, and when you go to the dashboard, you'll have 4 goals now, and how many goals you have completed, and recent achievements. So for example, if you logged any achievements this week, that's gonna appear here. You can log your achievement. For example, I'm going to log a new achievement, right? Made a video about Codex CLI, and then you can map this achievement to a specific goal. So this is definitely related to make awesome YouTube content. And then you can add like URLs or whatever. And how much does this achievement contribute to your overall goal? So let's just say 5%, and let's log achievement. So you have new achievement now, right? So another most important thing here is inside AI analytics, you can ask AI to write your self-evaluation. For example, if you're in a corporate environment, every year or mid of the year, your manager, mentor, or your boss asks you to write the self-evaluation, right? Basically, what goals you have logged beginning of this year, what have you done to achieve those goals, and then you just write a supporting document to prove that you did that work, right? It's gonna do exactly that. Basically, you can come here, you can write analysis for each individual goal, or you can write analysis for entire goals during that year. So the new feature that I want to add here is whenever AI generates the self-evaluation report, it's gonna stay here. I had to manually copy it and paste it in a Word document, which is not bad. But if we have something like download as a PDF or something like that here, that's gonna be awesome, right? Because I don't need to copy it and paste it somewhere else. Just click the button, it's gonna be downloaded, and you can use it and refine it the way you want to. So let's go back to Codex CLI, add this new feature. All right, so now we are in my project, and I also launched Codex CLI in my project. What we're gonna do is we will explain the Codex CLI, what we want to add to this application. Hey Codex, so I want you to add a new feature to this project. So it's basically a goal to achievements project. Inside the AI analytics, I don't have a way to download the self-evaluation generated by the AI. So I want you to think about and come up with a solution where user can click the button and then self-evaluation that generated by AI will be easy to download by the user. All right, so it started working. It's reading all the files. The one improvement that I'm already seeing here is it's not as descriptive as before. The GPT-5 models was very descriptive, and then it's hard to read what it is doing. It's only showing what requires for the user. Well, that was quick. It added the feature. I think I might need to install the dependencies again because it added a new package. All right, I install the dependencies. Let's quickly generate the report first. So just to give you the context, what's happening here is when I click the generate report, it's using the AI to generate the report, basically taking all the goals and achievements specific to the goals and then putting together a report. All right, fingers crossed. Okay, generate the report. Here is the report. Let's see if we can download it. Awesome. Let's open it. That's exactly what I wanted, and it did it. Adding new feature to the existing application. Check. Awesome. So that worked well. So next thing what we're gonna do is we're gonna implement something brand new with it. So here is what we're gonna build. So the use case is my family members, especially my sisters, few of my cousins, they live across the world. My sister lives in Canada. One of my cousin brothers lives in London. I live in San Francisco, and my parents are in India. So it's always a struggle for me to find out what time zone they are in. So my usual workflow is go to Google, figure out what time it is for them, and see if it is good time to call to them. So we got to build a web application around it. Whenever I launch the application, I should be able to see what time zone they're in, and then if it's a good time to call or not. That's the basic requirement of our application. Let's go build it. All right, so we are back to Codex. Let's build our is it a good time application. So I'm intentionally not giving more details, right? Because I just want to check the vibe here and see how GPT-5 Codex will be able to understand and come up with own tech stack. It's pretty simple. I gave the problem and I gave the goal, what I want to build, and then in some context around how to build, right? Usually this is not how I build applications. I'll have like a huge PRD, which is the project requirement document, which has all the details about what I want to do and how it needs to build and all that. But here we are just giving the small prompt and see how it's able to figure it out, all the hidden details, and come up with a nice UI application. All right, let's see. We're still using GPT-5 Codex media model. That was quick. It's understood the intention and created the plan. So it took around 6 to 7 minutes and used around 68,000 tokens, and it still have 89% context left. So that is very impressive. And one more cool improvement that I've been seeing is it's updating the plan consistently and informing me with the information that I only need. So it's not throwing all the unnecessary information. Well, enough talking. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run npm run dev and see if this application really works. Awesome. So it kind of one-shotted this entire application. So you can change the time format here, 12 hours and 24 hours, and it's immediately reflecting. It already added the mock data, and that's okay. I think you can go to manage members and change them. So let's change it. My sister name is Shilpa and she lives in Berlin. It added the quiet start and quiet end, so you can basically configure the quiet hours for this specific user. Matt lives in New York, and that's me. I live in San Francisco, which is LA. I saved the changes, it immediately reflected it on the dashboard. So as you can see, time in Berlin is 6:37 p.m. Let's double check that. Awesome. I can't believe it one-shotted all this application. Of course, there are a few errors, but it's okay. But its main requirements are already working. Great job, GPT-5 Codex. One-shotting brand new application with GPT-5 Codex, check. All right. Honestly, I'm incredibly impressed. It absolutely nailed both tasks. With the existing application, it quickly understood the code base and built the new feature flawlessly. The whole thing took way less time than I expected. And I can definitely tell it's using way less tokens than GPT-5 High models. That dynamic thinking isn't just a marketing hype, it's actually working. Another thing was it kept me updated nicely while it was working. That level of communication is definitely a huge step up compared to GPT-5 High models. The whole process feels more agentic and collaborative compared to the previous model. Now on my personal take, Claude 4 models are always my go-to models when I want to do agentic coding. But this test changed my entire perspective. From now on, I'm gonna use GPT-5 Codex models more. Why? Because it's cheaper, because it comes with your $20 subscription. You don't need to pay more for the API token. I don't know if I'm completely ready to migrate from Claude Code to Codex CLI just yet, but there's a good possibility that I'm gonna move. Bottom line, the model passed my initial vibe check. It's a huge improvement over GPT-5 and I absolutely love using it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching this far. I'll see you in the next one.